This is a function. I haven't said what it is yet, but let's say it's x plus 6. That is about as easy as it gets. All right, so then, what if I want to put a number in it, like 7? Now, if I put a 7 right there, I'm just telling you what number I'm going to put in it. I'm going to put a 7 in it. When I write f of 7, you don't have to do anything. It's just like a label. It's like, I stuck 7 in the function. And then I actually add them, and I get 7 and 6 is 13. That's evaluating a function. That red function, I stuck 7 in it. And this is what I got. And this is important to remember that this is like y. It's like y equals 13. Because remember, f of x is like y. Remember that? So, what was x? It was 7. It says so right there. What was y? It was 13. When you see this, I want you to realize that's a point. It's the point 7 comma 13. You stuck in x is 7. You got 13 for the y. It's a point. 7 comma 13. All right, let's see if you really caught on to that. If I said f of 8 equaled 10, that means I stuck what in the function?
Nothing.
Yes, I did.
8.
I stuck 8 in the function. And what did I get?
18.
Nope. Look closer. I got 10. I stuck 8 in the function, and I got 10. So that's a point. Don't overthink this. What's the point? What comma what? 8 comma 10. Catching on to that? That's what function notation means. I stuck 8 in the function, and that's where the x goes. You know, it's f of x, right? And then this whole thing is like y, so y equals 10. So 8, 10. All right, I'll give you another one. F of 9 equals 11. What did I stick in the function? 9. What did I get? 11. What point is it then? 9, 11. See? Okay. Now, here's another set of functions. F of x. Don't write this down. Don't write this down. This would be just wasting your time. But now, would you please figure out what f of 2 is? Let's make sure you understand what that means. What do we stick in the function? 2. What do you get? I don't know yet, because I haven't stuck a 2 in yet. But I will. See, this is the x spot, so I just stuck in a 2 right there. And then that's 4 times 2 is 8. 8 minus 8 is 0. I stuck 2 in the function, and I got 0. What was the x?
2.
2. And the other one is the y. Y is 0. So that is a point. I just found a point. The point is 2 comma 0. If I was going to graph it, 2 comma 0 would be on my graph.
So you can stick in any number you want.
Any number you want. Yep. All right. So this time I'm going to change letters. Everybody do write this down. G of x equals 11x plus 4. Would you please just figure out what g of, let's say, 3 is? Zane, what did you stick in the function? 3. And when you did stick 3 in, you probably put it here. And then what'd you get? 37 is right. Do you get that what we got as an answer is a point? The point is 3 comma 37. So if you had to graph it, you'd go over 3 and up 37 and be like way, way, way up there. Over 3, up. I'm not going to try to count out 37, but yeah. That's a point on a graph. All right, so how does it get any harder? Well, what if instead of g of 3, I asked you for 2g of 3? Don't like think this is like so different. It's literally just the same problem, but there's a 2 times it in front. So I already figured out g of 3. So you start on the inside of the problem and you go, okay, I guess I better figure out g of 3, which was 37. and I just take 2 times that. G of 3, right here, says it's 37. So I'm going to replace this with 37, and then calculators would be allowed. 60, 74, if you're good at that kind of thing. Okay, next one, write this down. P, I just don't want you to think it's always F and G. P of x equals x squared plus 1. What's 4 P of 1? We'll start with figuring out P of 1. Once you know what P of 1 is, just go 4 times that. All right. P of 1. I stick a 1 right here and a 1 right here. And P of 1 is 1 squared is 1 plus 1 is 2. Right? Then this P of 1 is 2, means this is equal to 2. So 4 times 2. Who had 8? Raise your hand if you had 8. Awesome. You're getting this. All right. They get a little more complicated, but not too much worse. All right, everybody write this one down. F of x equals 6x minus 1. G of x equals x squared. What if I said, for this is supposed to be easy. Don't like get it all twisted up. It will be complicated in a second, but if I just ask you f of 10, that should be an easy one. Go figure out f of 10. All right, so you got 10, you stick it in, and it's here and here, and then you get 60 minus 1 is 59. All right. What if instead of asking you f of 10, what if I just said f of x is 10? Do you get that that is different? A lot of kids are just like, oh, so you're saying to stick 10 in the function. No, I'm not. Do you get that's different? Okay. If it's different, then how do I do it different? I'm going to rewrite what I had at the beginning. F of x is 6x minus 1. I'm not going to put the 10 into the function. See, last time the 10 was where the x is, and it was basically saying x is 10. This is not saying x is 10. This is saying f of x is 10. Do you see the f of x right here? Yes, you put the 10 there. F of x is 10, you put the 10 there. And I'm just bringing these down. 6x plus 1, or minus 1, sorry. Okay, how is that different? Instead of x was 10, f of x was 10. F of x goes there, and now it's an equation. And guess what? You got to solve the equation. This is why we've got to get that first test down, because two-step equations like this have to be just like the back of your hand. Plus 1, draw the line, 11 equals 6x. Divide by 6, 11 over 6. Who had 11 over 6? Be honest. All right. Take this one. G of x equals x squared. First, the easy kind. G of 3. Don't overthink this. I just told you x was 3. And do you get I would just stick 3 in, and it'd be 3 squared, and so it'd be 9. Raise your hand if you had 9. Okay, good. Now what if I do this? G of x is 3. Then this part is 3. I stick the 3 not in the x, I stick it in the y. This part is the y part of the equation. It's like f of x. F of x is like y. Y is 3. That's basically what I said. Y is 3. Now how do you solve it? You square root both sides. So the answer is the square root of 3, because square roots undo squared. Do you guys remember that? We're not going to do that a lot, but square root and squared are kind of opposites. All right. M of x equals 4x plus 11. I'm not going to tell you x this time. I'm going to tell you m of x is 15. Solve. This is all about sticking things into functions, but there's two places I can tell you. I can either tell you x and then you stick it in there, or I can tell you y and you stick it in there. So, did I tell you x or did I tell you y? What? Did I tell you the x when I gave you this, or did I tell you the y? The y, good. So the y is 15, so I'm putting it right there. 15 equals 4x plus 11. Notice I didn't stick anything into the x. And then you solve it. So to solve it, you identify the variable, you go, okay, that's what I'm getting alone. Subtract 11, 4 equals, and 4x. And then divide both sides by 4, x equals 1. Okay. So, two functions. Go back to f of x and g of x. Nice, simple, two letters that we use the most. 6x plus 1 and 2x minus 8. Here is the three kinds of problems that we have. One, super simple. You just say f of 2, just means stick 2 in it. Second kind, you say like 2f of 2 minus 3. And that seems scary until you realize you already know f of 2. Find f of 2, times it by 2, and subtract 3. And the third kind of question is to say like g of x is 10. And you stick it in where g of x was. And you solve. Try those three. I think my sense of it is that you guys will be okay with the first one. I don't think you're going to like the second one. I think most of you got the third one. I'm not saying the answer for f of 2 is 12, but let's say the answer for f of 2 is 12. Do you get I just put a 12 here? And then I would go 2 times 12 minus 3. I just got to figure out what f of 2 is. And it'll go right there. All right, what was f of 2? Well, I'm sticking the 2 here, and it would be 12 plus 1 is 13. Who had 13 for the first one? All right. Then, if 13 goes here, because see, f of 2 is 13. Look, it's right there. So you go 13 times 2, 26 minus 3, 26 minus 3, and that's 23. And then the last kind, g of x is 10. It's going to be very tempting. Go put 10 in to the g function. Put 10 there? No. The whole thing, g of x is 10. The whole thing is 10. So I'm going to rewrite this over here. 10 equals 2x minus 8. And then I would add 8 to both sides. 18 equals 2x, x equals 9. 3 answers, 13, 23, and 9. Did any, be honest please, but don't be like, I'm too cool to raise my hand. I gotta know, how many people got all 3 of them? Okay, that's only a few of you. How many of you got 2 out of 3 of them? All right, okay. So, I want to practice one more round then, because the vast majority of people aren't getting these right yet. Please write down these two functions. F of x is 12x minus 1. G of x is x minus 10. This time I'm going to give you 4 problems. F of 3. Calculators are totally allowed. 2 g of 12. And the third question, g of x is 20. Now, it's important that you be able to talk to the kid next to you and like argue about things like, oh, I don't know how to do it, or ask them how to do it then. Okay? Have that conversation. These 2 rows, I'm going to ask you to compare with the kid across from each other. These 2 rows, same thing. And you're the only one without a partner today, so compare with the guys behind you. You 2 guys, actually you 3 compare. Talk to him first. He's the one who's supposed to help you. You 3. And then you 2 compare. And you 3 compare. Okay? After you tried them, talk to them. This is important. We're almost done. You can concentrate for 5 more minutes. You're going to be into your homework. There's any part you don't get, talk to the kid next to you first. And if they don't get it also, raise your hand. I'll come over and help you. Okay, I'm a little confused. Does nobody know how to do this? Or are you just like afraid to talk to the person next to you? Or what's going on?
This one's
Yes. I'll give you a charger, Black, if you talk to the girl next to you. You don't have to be done with all 3. Talk about the first one. Just talk about the first one.
So basically, it doesn't matter. It's not part of the equation.
yeah.
So you just put the 3 in there, which means it's the function. So say you put it in there.
Oh, this one.
So then it would be 35, 36 minus 1. And then you get the second one. No, I was kind of stunned because I was thinking that it was like, if you put the F in for like full
times two
those
is
X's,
then you would get two different X's. So that was like that.
no, it's, we're basing it on, because like, use this equation with this, because F, use this equation, use this.
All right, in my quick analysis, most kids seem to get this no problem. You stick the 3 in here. F of 3 gives you 3 times 12, which is 36 minus 1 is 35. Pretty much, I noticed almost everybody was saying they got that one. Yay. This one, for some reason, it confuses people a lot. But you just have to figure out g of 12. You know, it's just like this one. And after you're done, take the answer and times it by 2. That's all this means. So g of 12 isn't that bad. You just stick a 12 in. G of 12 is 12 minus 10, which is 2. So if that's 2, g of 12 is 2, then you bring this 2 down and you have 2 times 2. So the answer was 4. I think that's the one that was getting people the most. Who had 4 for that one? All right. We had about half of you. Okay, and this one, you don't put the 20 in to the x, you put it in for the g of x. This whole thing becomes 20. So then you write 20 for this equals x minus 10. 20 equals x minus 10. And then that's the easiest question ever to solve. You just add 10, you get 30. I'm guessing a similar number of kids will have that right. All right. So the kind that seems to get you guys the most is when it's like this. Now, I didn't give you a g function yet. So I'll give you the g function in a second, but you tell me, what would be the first thing you would figure out? G of 8. Once you figured out g of 8, do you just times it by 4 and then add 11? Once I figure this out, I just have to times it by this and add that. So do you get, I need to tell you g? All right, so I'm going to give you g now. G equals 4x. If I were you, I would use a calculator in this class. Unless I was really good at it in my head. So it says g of 8. That's where the x is. You know, it's supposed to be g of x, right? So basically I just said x was 8. So we go stick in x is 8. And g of 8, and I put an 8 here, and that means times. And so g of 8 is 8 times 4 is 32. Did you get 32? Good. That's for g of 8. G of 8 is 32. I'm going to put 32 right here now. And I'm going to copy the 4 and the plus 11. All I did was figure out g of 8. And now that I got this, it's just easy. It's just a calculator thing. You go 4 times 32 plus 11. Where'd the 32 come from? Sticking an 8 into the g function right there. All right. How many of you got that one right? All right. We're getting there, I think. Okay. So all I'm asking on this one is, what is the first thing you would need to do?
Find out.
A little bit more. Find f of 2. Yes. That's the first thing you do is find f of 2. All right, so here's your f function. F of x is equal to 2x plus 1. I'll go help the teacher that's at the door and you figure out f of 2 first and then finish it off. And once you stuck the 2 into the f function, you get, well, let me do it. I'll stick a 2 in right here, and all that says is f of 2. It's like a label. That's where you actually get the answer. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So this is a 5. And now, I hope you know that's not 45. It's 4 times 5 plus 10. Calculators can do that. It's 20 plus 10 is 30. Raise your hand if you had 30. Sweet. Okay, good. I think you get it. Now, there's a worksheet. And when you're done with the worksheet, or even as you go, you type in the answers on a little Schoology quiz to get the credit for the worksheet. So, grab that worksheet. Let's start with the first problem together. I guarantee you there's some kid that's already like halfway done with the worksheet. But somebody just read me problem number 1. Just
F4.
say it louder.
F of 4.
F of 4, thank you. And does it tell you the f function?
It says up top.
Up top. Okay, f of x is what?
Equals 2x minus 5.
Thank you. That's the stuff I needed. Okay, so for our first question, f of 4. I'm sticking 4 into my function. And if I put it here, that's just a label. It's saying f of 4. And if I put it there, I actually get the answer. I can do that with my head, can you? What do you think the answer is?
It's gonna be 3.
You're correct, because that's 8 minus 5, and 8 minus 5 is 3. So the first answer is 3. And I guarantee you that one's right. And you'd go type that into the Schoology quiz, and you got the first one right. Okay? All right. The first few are pretty easy. Don't put your iPad away. We still got, oh, you're done with the whole homework assignment. Okay, awesome. All right. Yay. So, I do want to get to one of the harder ones. And I think it's like problem 5 or 6 is the first time where it like looks more complicated. Would you guys look ahead on the worksheet and tell me one that looks kind of more complicated? All right. Would you read me number 6? It's probably more complicated by then. Read me number 6.
3 times g.
3g
Squared. Or, no, 3g 2.
of 2.
Yeah, 2.
3g of 2. Is that it?
And then you have gx equals x squared plus 3.
X squared plus 3. Okay, that's what I need. Because I need to stick 2 in the g function, which is right there. And that just tells you what, that's a label. It's like g of 2 is, and then over here you stick the 2 in, and that's where you actually get the answer. G of 2 comes out to 2 squared is 4 plus 3 is 7. And now that I know g of 2 is 7, I can replace this with 7. And then it's 3 times that. All right, that's all I got for you for today. There's a
Wait, so it'd be 6 then? If it's 3 times that?
did you get 4 plus 3 to get 7?
Yeah, I got 7 over there.
Oh, okay.
But,
So if I put a 7 here now, this g of 2 is 7. There's a 7 right there. I'm a little confused. What are you going to do with the 3 and the 7? What do you think?
multiply?
Yeah. That's just 7 times 3. So did you get 21?
Yeah.
Okay. So the answer for number 6 is 21. All right. Now this is the part where I got to give people some time to work, and you know, I got to call some kids up to like get some old work back, and I've got to. I actually think I found a mistake in the answer key. One of my students pointed out, so that means some of you might get a point back on your test. When I make a mistake on the key, I will never let it hurt you. So, like, in other words, if I realize that you did problem 5 wrong later, after that you already got your results back, I'm not going to hurt your score. We'll leave it alone. Okay, but for anybody who got it marked wrong incorrectly, I got to go back and give you that point. So there's a few people that took the white version of the test where the key was wrong, and I'll try to get you those results back today. Maybe some of you just bumped up your grade a little bit. Okay, and that's all I have for you for today.